If you're struggling to take a nice consistent shaving with a hand plane, there's a few things that we need to factor in. One, is the plane set up? And two, is it sharp? So I'm going to show you how I set my plane up and how I make sure that everything is perfect before I start taking my shavings. I'm going to start off by taking everything apart, okay? Just be nice and delicate when you take the iron out because you don't want to damage it. So before we go any further, what we want to do is ensure that the plane is flat. That is very, very important. Take a permanent marker pen and we want to ensure that we cover all of the grounds with this. So really draw it from one side to the other and just make sure that you cover all of the edges nicely just to see if we do have any imperfections. I've got a nice flat cast iron bed on my table saw. What I've done is put some sandpaper on there. This is 180 grit sandpaper. What I'm going to do is just go a couple of times backwards and forwards. Just after going over it quickly, a few passes, we can see that this is taken down completely and this is taken down completely. So I need to keep going until all of these pen marks have disappeared. So after a lot of scrub-a-dub-dub, this is all good to go. This part is called the frog, okay? This whole entire part with all of these adjustments on here. We want to ensure that the frog is flush with the sole here, all the way across. And you can loosen these screws off, adjust it with this little screw at the bottom here, and that just pulls everything forwards and backwards. So you want really good alignment with the sole of the plane. Okay, next thing is, are the handles nice and tight? And just make sure they're seated nicely, make sure it doesn't move around and tighten them up if you need to. And the same with the knob at the front, okay? And then we can move on to the iron and the chip breaker. So, of course, we want the iron to be razor sharp. So this one tells you here is a 25-degree angle that you need to sharpen it at. It's great when it tells you. Some planes have different angles on them, but it's best to just do your research on the specific plane that you've got. This is a 4.5, so it's a 25-degree angle, okay? Once you've sharpened your iron and it's all good, make sure that it's centered nicely. And we also want to make sure that we're about 2 millimeters from the edge here. If you do have gaps, just do a bit of work on your chip breaker, make sure it sits against the iron properly. And then your lever cap, you want it to come down with enough force where it just gently pops, but not too hard. You don't want to force it hard. This, okay, bit of a firm push, but then it locks into place. That's all good, everything's set up. Before we continue, make sure your iron is nice and level. So bring the iron so it sticks out from the sole, level it off, and then retract it back in. And so when you're going backwards and forwards over your wood, it does nothing. And then start to advance your iron out, and you'll hear it gradually start to bite. There we go. Advance it a touch more. And that's better there. Oh, look at that. Lovely.